One night, a man awoke from a dream he had. It was so sudden and abrupt. Agitated from it, he quickly jolted out of bed and entered a state of hyperventilation and delirium. After a good 2 or more minutes, he was able to recollect his thoughts and come back to life. Damn, what a dream, he uttered to himself, still slightly uneasy from it, though at this time the night was still young and he had yet a bunch more hours to wander off into abstract realms of temporal death. But still, he feared that the dream would end up revisiting him in his sleep. So, he decided to put on his green Eisenhower jacket, grab a beige Bic lighter that he had stolen from his brother, and his favorite pack of menthol cigarettes that he and his girlfriend of many years ago used to smoke together, usually when the sky looked like a display of diamonds, or when she'd feel like the sun at his arm's embrace. Sweet things of the past. Upon stepping out of his grim apartment, the man was greeted by a serious frigidness in the air, accompanied with an eerie silence. There were many apartments around him, occupied of course, but still, he felt truly alone that night. It was almost like a ghost town, and the only things that existed at the time was him and fear. Fear of the unknown, except that fear would creep up behind him at times, and he'd feel its red eyes peering inside him, almost as if to inform his soul that it is there and has always been. Still, the man couldn't go back to his apartment, not until his head felt cleared and that the dream no longer bothered him. And so he walked and walked and walked. Who knows how long it must have been. It was almost like he had been walking his whole life, never looking back, and it looked like his legs still had more in them to continue walking. The man walked on as if to escape his past, when all of a sudden, he found himself in a street with a few working lampposts and abandoned apartments all around him. Embers of fire could be seen from afar in alleyways, and once in a while, a dim light could be spotted in some windows. In one apartment lit by a dim light, through the window, the man saw something. It looked like two shadowy figures. Yes, it was two people, a man and a woman. Out of curiosity, the man immediately and totally ignored everything around him and focused his gaze completely on the dim lit window. He looked closer, and it looked like the man was grabbing the woman's neck, strangling her. The next thing he notices the manly figure do is hold up a knife with his other hand as the woman is resisting, pushing the man's head back and swinging her arms wildly in the air, trying to connect her punches. Eventually, the man stabs her repeatedly on her neck until she can fight no longer, and the last thing the man sees is the woman raising her hand up, as if trying to land one last punch, but fate had already smothered her in the blanket of death. And so, as if for a moment, being wrapped around the warm blanket, she sees the light and reaches out to grab it. Her hand is no longer in a fist and rather open, peacefully yearning, trying to grab the light. Her arm is still raised and reaching, until she falls slowly to her death. Suddenly, the air is still, and a wave of tranquility fills the entire atmosphere. The night sky looked like a black hole in which troubled souls get sucked up, and the wailing wind was the echoes of their last cries. The man could not feel his body. Disturbed, a strong numbness took over. A teardrop fell from his eye, and as he struggled to breathe, a tear would drop, and drop, and drop, and drop, and drop with every breath he'd take. And before he knew it, the man was on his knees crying. "Oh, how can one be so cruel?" he cried out to the night, almost forgetting that a literal fucking lunatic was still in close proximity. But the oblivious nature of human empathy couldn't help but take over this poor man's soul. If his restless nights wasn't enough, imagine having to deal with witnessing a cold-blooded murder. Oh, how cruel life can be indeed. The man wept and wept and wept. He wept in harmony with the wind, and the cold, as if to tell him everything will be okay, dried his tears and stiffened his face ever so slightly, with kisses, like from a mother conferring reassurance. The now teary-eyed man decided to catch one glimpse of the window, and to his surprise, the shadowy figure was looking back at him. The man could almost feel his eyes staring right into his, as if to look at his soul. They were the same eyes of fear, claiming he is there and has always been. All of a sudden, it was quiet again, and instead of a calming one, It was the same silence he had encountered when he first left the door of his apartment. Now, was the dream he had awakened from so bad than whatever the hell he had gotten himself into? And as if Mother Nature wouldn't fuck with him anymore, all the streetlights went off and it was totally dark. The only light emitted was from the moon and stars, yet even they looked very distant and rather faint. The shadowy figure, still looking at the man, then pointed his knife at him, and within a split second, the dim light in the room went off and a door opened. Completely dismissing his sadness and the unfortunate demise of a poor soul, the man got up quickly and ventured off. This time, instead of walking, he ran. His heartbeat replaced his rapid footsteps, and delirium seemed to be the only thing his mind could handle. Through the depths of the night, the poor man ran, fearing that his life would also be discarded in the same merciless manner. Greeted by unwanted sounds and rattles in alleyways, shadows of rats, and the sounds of night critters were burning lights, the man ran like there was no tomorrow. Through hell the man ran. Indeed, he was in hell, only running deeper into it. The man ran, and eventually his legs could not even locate the ground, vice versa. He ran, and ran wild into the night, like a wild pig. Thus he stumbled and fell. "O wanderer," a grand feminine voice called out to him from above. "Wanderer, dear wanderer, awaken, awaken now, my friend." The man woke up. He had fallen down pretty bad and hit his head. He found himself in a dirt path covered in bruises and all kinds of insects. After a few quick breaths, the man was sort of able to compose himself. "At last, O wanderer, you hath awakened," said the grand voice again. The man in shock looked up to the sky, which once looked like an abyss in which troubled souls fall into. It was now beautifully decorated by stars, and the moon looked as beautiful and brighter than ever and before. Who are you?" the man said. "Fear not, wanderer, for it is I, Night." The man could not believe this. "What the hell is happening? Why is this happening to me? Why me, dear God?" the man thought to himself. His mind was boggled. "How are you talking to me? What is happening?" the man continued to question. The night then responded to the man and said, "Why, ye poor thing, fear not, for I caress those whose minds wander off into distant lands once asleep. I witness all the things thou may not dare do in the morning, and I hear all the secrets, promises, and songs shared amongst thee at night." "I'm sorry, I'm just really fucking confused right now," explained the man. "Fear not. Say, wanderer, what hath there runneth from?" asked the knight. "Well, first off, I had a dream. It was such a weird dream, and so I decided to go out for a walk and clear my mind. The next thing I know, I've been walking for a while and I end up in this place. It was a weird street and it was dark. So dark, and I felt followed by something, but I couldn't tell what it was. I just knew I wasn't alone. Then I looked into a window of this apartment and oh God, the man, I have to run. He's gonna fucking kill me," exclaimed the man. Without second thought, the man started hyperventilating, completely dismissed the state he was in, and started running again, like a deranged wild pig. At this point, the man had completely lost his shit. His face looked like a person who had been told all the secrets only to be known by some higher beings, and so he must live with them until he dies, only for him then to be cursed with immortality. He ran like a wild pig, ignoring all around him. The man ran and ran. Once again, the night called out to him, "O wanderer, why must ye be so? Why must one fear inevitability?" The man responded, still running and out of breath, "What are you? Crazy? Who the hell wants to die? I don't want to die." "But wanderer, what if I hath told you that ye have already died?" The man stopped, with his heartbeat trying to catch up with his breath. Sorry? He said. You are indeed forgiven, O wanderer. Then I responded in a rather jokingly manner. Wait, what do you mean I'm already dead? Well, had you not found yourself passed out in the middle of nowhere covered in bruises and maggots? No, it can be. I'm still. And if life could be of more absurdity, are ye not a mere mortal speaking to night itself? Crikey, wanderer, had you not ingested something rather strong? The knight said, now scoffing. No, bullshit. It can't be, the man exclaimed in total grave denial. I'm here. I can feel myself. I'm still here. I can feel my body. My heart is still beating. I can speak. I'm still alive. I can't be dead, exclaimed the man. And so he continued to run, dismissing everything that had just been said, like a wild pig into the night. At last again, the knight called unto the man, O wanderer, why must thou be so difficult? Why must human nature be so selfish, trying to survive, completely oblivious to everything and everyone around them if it means their own survival or pleasure? With true haste I observe ye. The man, still fleeing from the shadowy killer, ignored the knight's words and continued to run. And run, with no direction whatsoever, completely oblivious, like a wild pig. The man ran and ran. As the man was running, he noticed the path in front of him was covered in complete darkness. It was a forest, pure darkness, and the sounds coming out of it sounded like cries from hell. The man paused, breathing even heavier now. He was completely distraught and felt rather unfortunate, this young knight. Once again, the knight said to him, And now? As if it wasn't fear causing you to run, and yet now fear must be the reason you proceed no further. O wanderer, what is it with you pitiful mortals? Asked the knight. Oh no, what must I do now? He exclaimed, fearing for his life. Well, I tell you what, wanderer, run ahead. Will I survive? Asked the man. Why, do you know where this path leads? Responded the knight. Please, O knight, please, I beg you. The man, now dropping to his knees, begged the unseeable. Please, O knight, I beg you, help me, save me, I'm scared, I'm in fear, cried out the man. Ha ha ha. The knight burst out in laughter. And if you running like a wild pig was not enough, oh wanderer, I tell you what. Run on and meet your fate in many forms, or freeze here and let the fear of what you're running from consume you, or go back and face your fear to die regardless, or you just accept your fate and be at peace. But I can't. I just saw a woman get killed and now I'm afraid of the dude. He'll come get me. Why, on such unfortunate events rather beautiful. What are you saying? Are you crazy? How is a poor woman dying beautiful? Oh, traveler, instead of letting fear take over, why not such moments fill your heart with gratitude and happiness to be alive? What? What are you saying? Asked the man, now confused, even more so. Why, wanderer, see, why must thou fear in such a manner when life is far too short and predestined? Well, because we're human? And of what meaning is it to be human, dear wanderer? Well, I don't know. Is it not to be human letting fear of the unknown, of the inevitable, and the fear of one another consume them? Is being human not to let life's complexities consume thee, until your present is prejudiced off of your past and determinant on your future? How must one know what it means to live, than if to be human must be done in such a manner? Now, wanderer, please tell me, now, what does it mean to be human? I don't know, said the man. His heartbeat was back to normal and he sounded a little bit more composed than when he woke up. Say, Wanderer, was it not fear of having the same dream that led you to this point? Well, I guess you're right, answered the man. Imagine what would have happened if you had just gone back to sleep. You hadn't been in such a mess, and even so, why fear now? Is not everything that hath happened up until this point not inevitable? Well, yeah, I guess I was kinda stupid for that. Indeed, but once again it appeareth to me that part of being human is to be foolish. Wanderer, it is okay to be stupid, but let not your heart be troubled by the inevitable. Fear is of the devil. Unfortunate things occur only to edify ye of gratitude. Acceptance is the first step to living. Forging ahead is the second. Say, knight, why do you talk like that? Asked the man. Well, come to think of it, I don't know. But you're better off asking how I'm able to talk, or even how you're able to hear me. There's so much in life that cannot be answered, but we mustn't let fear of not having these answers rule us. It's inevitable, and so we must just accept all that gets thrown our way. Fear not, Wanderer, for it leads to far nowheres, ensured the knight again. Yeah, I guess you're right. So, what does it mean to not fear? Well, Wanderer, to not fear is to live. And what does it mean to live? Well, to live is to wake up. Huh? Wake up, Wanderer, for the trials of tomorrow are unknown. But fear not, live. Wait, what do you mean, wake up?
You're fucking dreaming, dude. Did you not get the memo, Ichikara? Wake up.
Oh God. At last the man had awakened from his dream. It was in the middle of the night, and the night was still far young. He was disoriented and couldn't believe what on earth had just happened. He quickly got out of bed, scattered to his desk looking for his notebook and pen, and checked his phone. It was only 1:30 a.m., so he grabbed a lighter and his favorite pack of cigarettes, walked towards the windowsill and proceeded to look out his window into the night sky. He knew that his interaction with the sky was just a dream, but at that very moment, he felt a serene sense of calm upon looking far into the night. An old friend. He reached for a cigarette and put it to his mouth and lit it. He then opened his notebook, and on it he began to write. One night, a man awoke from a dream he had. The end.